Howdy folks, MACT Garage, and got some good news. You know that I told you I'm going to start doing more videos on that 2017 Ford Explorer Sport that I have, and hey, as with all things, the first thing I did was change the oil. You know, I drove it for about 1,500 miles, and then the first thing I did was change that oil. And it was a 17 Ford Explorer, and I think the dealer put a CarQuest filter in it with 5W30, probably a synthetic blend. Don't know what it was, but I just guesstimated what a used car dealer would do. And that's what the filter was, so I'm assuming it was a synthetic blend oil. I doubt they splurged for anything like a synthetic. But anyway, they did the oil change, and I had about 1,500 miles on it before I got to it. I figured they just changed it. I'll run it, see what's going on, get a few miles under its belt. I figured, well, 1,500 miles also tell me how much fuel's in the oil, because I have another Ecoboost, a 2019 2-liter Ecoboost, and that thing just can't stop dumping fuel into the oil. So I figured, well, this is an Ecoboost twin turbo 3.5. It's probably going to have fuel in it. And wow, was I surprised. But anyway, let's cover over the oil. And the first thing the lab report tech said, you know, in the Blackstone report, which I use all the time, they said it was a good first report as far as the engine. Wear metals are very low for just 1,500 miles of oil use. And of course, the universal averages will show typical wear for the type of V6 at about 6,000 miles. So I'm way under that, but hey, it's good to know where you're standing anyway. The engine had about 117,500 miles on it when I changed the oil on it. The viscosity was definitely in the range of a 5W30 oil, and there was no water, coolant, or anything else, didn't take note, that was in it. The TBN was really high. It was a 6.3, which is good. That means that the oil was pretty new and was definitely within the specs. So since I bought it, I was like, man, you know when you buy a used vehicle, you want to know the condition of the engine, and I really didn't have the ability to test the oil because they changed the oil, so I had to buy it on faith and think, well, God, I hope they don't have any bearing damage, metal wear. Did the people that drove it before me use it on race day every day? You know, what were they doing to this engine? Were they running at high RPMs, just abusing the heck out of it? I don't know. I did not know. It just wasn't there. So the best way to tell what kind of condition your engine is do an oil report right after you buy it. So at least you're not going to be given any surprises. Well, I'm going to tell you straight up, folks, I was not surprised. The aluminum was 3 parts per million for this engine. Universal average is 4. So is it wore out? Well, keep in mind 6,000 miles is what they go by, but this is an Ecoboost, so 3,000 miles is probably about as far as you're going to go with this. Chromium was 0, which is excellent. The iron was at 5, and the universal averages are 19, so hey, this is pretty decent. Copper was 1, and the universal averages for copper is 13 for a 3.5 Ecoboost. And then the lead and the tin were all 0, which is pretty much what the universal averages are. So yeah, this was a good oil report. As far as the oil goes, pretty much nothing spectacular about it. It's pretty much what I thought. A synthetic blend, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and zinc were all within specs as far as a standard synthetic blend oil. So I wasn't too far off. It did have some Molly B in it, you know. So there is that, but nothing else was really showing up. And of course the potassium, the sodiums were all low, so that means we have no water pump issues and no coolant in the oil. The other thing that we had it was within the viscosity for the oil that they put in there, which is a 530, so the viscosities were good at 58.2 and then 9.70. It's still good viscosities for those. No coolant, no water in it. Insolubles were 0.2, which they always are. And then, of course, the TBN was at 6.3. The fuel, oh my gosh, no fuel, folks. No fuel. in the oil. That is amazing. Twin turbo Ecoboost, 1,500 miles with no fuel in the oil. Now, what do you do with that? My 2-liter Ecoboost outside there, that thing cannot get 1,500 miles and not put fuel in the oil to save its life. But this 3.5 Ecoboost put no fuel in the oil. So I'm thinking I'm golden. I had a little bit of a cam phaser clap. I got rid of that CarQuest oil filter, put a Purelator Boss in it, and then I added, and guys, don't shoot me and don't hurt me or whatever, I was given for free by a friend that wanted to offload some 5W30 AMS oil. He gave me 6 quarts of 5W30 AMS oil, and that is what I put in my Ecoboost for my Ford Explorer Sport. So that's what I'm running. We'll do the test. We'll see where it's at. Again, I don't tout AMS oil. I think it's a boutique, expensive oil, and you can get the same results on off-the-shelf oils. And we'll see. We'll run this test and we'll see what it comes out like. But I've never been impressed with anything that costs that much that I can't run that long, because once you get gasoline or fuel in your oil, you know, all bets are off for any oil. So yeah, but anyway, that's what was free to me, and that's what I put in it because I had it, and I wanted to use it up and do some testing with it. So I said, why not? A twin turbo 3.5 Ecoboost is going to be just as hard on oil as anything else. So we'll find out what this AMS oil does in the next oil testing that I do, and it'll have about 3,000 miles on it when I do test it. So we'll have a better test on it as far as that goes. But I'll put the information up in the sections here on this oil test. But rest assured, I have a rock solid 3.5 Ecoboost in my 2017 Ford Explorer Sport. So I am perfectly happy. So that means my feet hit the floor today and I'm having a great day. And I want you to have a great day too. Band of One's got some great music it's going to play for you. And Mercy Girl always has a one-liner for you to listen to.
Thank you for watching MACT's videos, and remember to like and subscribe. This is a Mercy Girl production.